Okay, here we go. Welcome back to the Shacknews Awards. We are going to be deliberating on the best sports game of the year 2024, which is why I was mimicking Dak Prescott's cadence to start this video. But yeah, let's get to the nominees and then we can get to voting. Or people can speak on behalf of these games if they want to go into in depth after I read them off. So our first nominee, WWE 2K24, which is having a bit of a renaissance in recent years. Kind of a perennial nominee in this category, MLB The Show 24, which is largely considered the best yearly sports franchise these days. Just consistency, adding modes. They did some really cool stuff in recent years. MLB The Show 24, which is now on multiple platforms too. Our next nominee is Topspin 2K25. We finally got a new Topspin game. And tennis kind of has fallen off. Like sim tennis games, there weren't a lot of them. We've had arcadey tennis games in recent history, but yeah, Topspin executed pretty well. We got Turbo Golf Racing is nominated here. We got a boxing game this year called Undisputed. That's actually pretty solid. Got nominated. And last but not least, a game that had been dormant, a franchise that had been gone for 10 years, 10 excruciatingly long years. EA Sports College Football 25 is nominated for Shacknews Best Sports Game of the Year 2024.
I feel like I know what's winning, but still we should.
Yeah. David, you really enjoy
everything else.
I think you're the perfect person to talk about this game because when WWE ships a bad game, you are not afraid to say this is a terrible game. But when they improve on it, you're also not afraid to say, hey, this isn't trash anymore. You talk about how good of an experience WWE 2K24 is.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what you want to know first, Asif?
It doesn't matter what I want to know.
You saw that coming. Okay.
You can't see me.
I can't see you. Where'd you go? No, I think that, since the debacle that was WWE 2K20, these games have gotten better every year.
Mm-hmm.
This year has a great roster. The game feel is great. It leans more simulation heavy, which I like in my wrestling games. But I think with all the options they've added, I think players interested in a more arcade experience can still pick up the controller and have a lot of fun. I really liked this year's Road to WrestleMania mode, getting to replay a lot of the best WrestleMania matches. It's just been getting better every year, and I think the roster is the best it's ever been too. So yeah, WWE 2K24 just a great package.
I think another thing they did this year, David, is that the mocap was better. Like they actually worked with individual wrestlers for the first time because previously I believe LA Knight was doing it. Like he was mimicking other people's.
Yeah, it seems like in every generation of wrestling game, there's like one person that they have do all the moves, and yeah, there's still some animations that I recognize from last year and that have probably been around for a while. Like the Rock Bottom still doesn't look. The Rock's my favorite character in these games, so I can kind of tell. It's still a couple of years old at least, but all the mocap is great. And it's just a really impressive looking game this year. I feel like they optimized it more for PS5 and Series X.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it actually is starting to look pretty good. It's not to the level of like an MLB The Show graphically or anything, but it's
no.
It's like you're right. The road that it's been on from 2020 to now, it is night and day. You're talking like 3 out of 10 game to like 8 out of 10 game or whatever.
Yeah. I think that's what I gave it this year, an 8 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really solid package. Especially, I have to give a shout out to the creator wrestler feature. You can go online and find anyone you want. Like I have almost a complete AEW roster in this game as well. It's fun to create some dream matches like Kurt Angle and Will Ospreay. I've done that. Bret Hart, Kenny Omega, I've done that. It's just, again, I can't say it enough, but it's just a really great package if you're a wrestling game fan or fighting games. Again, go more arcade style. Have a lot of fun with this.
Mm-hmm. Nice. MLB The Show 24. Donovan, are you like basically the guy who reviews this every year for us?
I am, yeah. This has become my niche, funnily enough. Yeah, I think at this point, MLB The Show is the most consistent and more notably least offensive of the annual sports game franchises when you think of like the Maddens and 2Ks of the world. It's fun. Last year was the one I believe that they introduced the Negro Leagues. They brought that
Yeah.
back this year and expanded on it. They added more to it. They added more players and their stories, which I thought was awesome. The career mode remains fun in that game. Uh, I think just as far as an actual sim goes, when I compare it to the other sports games that I play, it's the one that I think most realistically just captures like the ballpark atmosphere. Even just like when you're at bat and you can hear people will like yell your name in the crowd and try to like throw you off when they're behind the bullpen and stuff. It's great. It's the fact that they have all the AA teams in there, and I can work my way up and play for the Bowie Bay Sox, which is like a team I would go see for like $20 tickets out here as a kid. Uh, I think that it does maybe the best job at immersing you in that world of any of these games. So
And it's not predatory with microtransactions either. Like it,
no, yeah, I mean they definitely have like their ultimate team mode. I think they call it Diamond Dynasty, something like that.
yeah.
But it's not like a 2K or a Madden, which again they're not nominated. I won't talk about them here, but it's not as bad as some other games.
It's not in
just
your face
important.
about it the way Madden is.
That's what I'm saying is like, and yeah, we're not going to talk about them too much, but like, you fire up Madden 8 out of 10 times, there's a full screen ad trying to push you into Ultimate Team before you even see the menu, and that's just not present in these games. That's all I'm saying, Dom. It's like it's less abrasive about that stuff.
For sure.
And yeah, like you said, you can have a fun career in that game without having to worry about spending those points that you have to buy in NBA or whatever. So yeah, it differentiates itself from a lot of the other popular sim games. So it's a worthy nominee basically every year, unless they do something drastically bad with the gameplay, which they haven't. I just think it's good that it's multi-platform now, because for so long, other players couldn't enjoy this game, and it's really a solid game.
I mean, we talk about multi-platform. It's like a very underrated PlayStation Studios game that just launches on Xbox and Switch every year, day and date. It's on Game Pass. You boot it on Xbox, you get the PlayStation intro with the symbols and all that, and it's very surreal every time I see that. But yeah, it doesn't get talked about a lot.
With that
yeah.
said, please PC, PlayStation. Why no PC?
That's the next
Bring other games
hurdle.
to PC, but not that. Why?
Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question, Ozzy, and we'll bring it up in other sports categories too. Because there's another nominee that I think should be on PC. Because then maybe we could mod in some stuff. Yeah, Topspin 2K25 came out this year. It's a competent tennis game, and we just haven't really had like. I feel like Virtua Tennis was like
another franchise being revived, right?
Mhm.
In Topspin.
That's right. This had been years in the making. They kind of hyped it up a few years ago. And then it came out, it kind of came and went. I think the problem with Topspin right now, like, who is the guy or the girl, like the number one player? Like, can you name like the person that you want to play as in this game right now?
Is it still Serena Williams?
No.
No.
I mean, like, I'm sorry, like she's kind of, she's not young anymore. I don't want to say she's old, but like she's
Coco Gauff.
Is Naomi Osaka in those games?
I think so. But even like, I guess that's my point. Like, there's not like a Federer, Serena, Venus kind of superstar right now, or even in the past. There's not like a Pete Sampras or an Andre Agassi.
Rafa Nadal just retired.
Novak?
Yeah, Nadal is kind of Novak. He's kind of an anti-hero, Sam.
Yeah,
like
that's why everyone loves him.
I'm just saying, like, he's not the.
No, I think you meant anti-vaxxer.
Sure, but like I said, he's a little more divisive, Sam. Like he's not the guy that you put on the cover. He's not the guy on the Wheaties box. You know what I mean? Like they don't have that guy right now, and also especially in America, we don't even have like a top 5, top 10 tennis player in America right now. So it's just, I think that's part of the problem with interest around tennis in general. But yeah, I think it's good that they're making this. I'm really curious though. Is this going to be an annualized series? Like, we'll have to wait a year to find that out. Because I'm not sure if it needs to
I don't
be.
know, because we thought PGA Tour would be an annual series, and we haven't seen that since in a couple of years.
Which is insane because that was actually good. And I think that might be the same thing here, where it's like these are good games, but PGA is kind of similar, Ozzy, where like, you know, it doesn't have Tiger Woods anymore. I don't know if people even know if you could pick out Scotty Scheffler from like a lineup, I would be shocked. But he's like one of the best players in golf right now. But yeah, we'll move on. Speaking of golf, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, it was going to be a massive tangent. So I
Okay,
proceed.
I'm glad I cut you off then.
Yeah, I'm glad as well.
Speaking of golf, Turbo Golf Racing has been nominated here. This seems like Ozzy nominated this.
I was a fan of it, even going back to early access, because I like to nominate the kind of off the wall, like off the board sports picks, and this is something where it combines Rocket League style racing and golf. And the way the physics work in this, like, it can be a lot of fun. Trying to basically you're ramming giant balls into a hole at the end, and you don't play it the way a typical golf game could, but you play it closer to like how you would play it in Rocket League, which I thought that they pulled that off very well.
Yeah, there's like a Leroy Jenkins vibe to that game. It's just like try it.
I was happy to see it come out of early access this year, and I think they've done very well so far.
Nice. Yeah, I think in another year I might vote for that. But it's a pretty big year for sports games releases. And yeah, Undisputed, Ozzy. I think you also had hands on with this earlier in the year.
Well, this is another one like Top Spin where like even if it's not necessarily the best, it's competent. And we haven't had a good competent boxing game since the Fight Night days. And I think this tries to emulate a lot of what Fight Night's doing. And for 1.0, they added the career mode and they added a couple of other features. And I think the presentation can't be beat. I think the presentation is what it does, what it excels at, sort of similar to what WWE does. But yeah, and as far as like boxing mechanics, it's fine. It's not going to win this category, but it does its job well enough.
Speaking of winning this category,
would be nice, but
Electronic Arts. I'm just going to take you back in time. This is a little video game history for the folks at home. It's the year 2013. Michigan Wolverines are actually kind of decent. You know, we have Denard Robinson at quarterback. You know, we're doing things. EA announces that the next college football installment will be the last one. So me, being a loyalist to the Michigan Wolverines and whatnot, I say, you know what? I'm not even going to buy this game. I didn't buy NCAA 2014 out of protest because I was like, I don't want to pay knowing that they're thumbing their nose at us. Fast forward, literally 10 years later, we get a new college football video game. And it's not just a port of Madden with new uniforms. It's actually a new game. And it's great. Like Donovan, they actually made a good football game at EA.
They did. And it was really hard to not be pessimistic for the last, there was like a 3-year hype cycle for this when they announced they were bringing the series back. And again, it was like, we had every reason to assume that this was going to be Madden, but with like college jerseys and logos. And that was just as good as the game was going to be. And it was so much more than that. I mean, it plays different from Madden. There's so many different unique animations. The modes are different. The atmosphere, the kicking and throwing feels different. It's a bit more arcadey, but in a fun way. It's got way more personality. We talked about a lot where, you know, Madden feels very corporate and buttoned up. College football's got like the artful, you know, splash logos that it's throwing at you, the drum lines, the music. It captures that college atmosphere so well. I think the career mode, Road to Glory, and Dynasty are so much fun. I mean, even last night I was playing a game with a friend in a league we have with like 8 or 9 of us in a Dynasty. We're in like 2032, and we haven't all been invested in a football game like that since maybe Madden 15, 16.
Yeah.
It's just, it has managed to maintain my enjoyment of it far longer than a Madden game has, probably since like the Xbox 360 era at this point. It's a hell of a lot of fun, and I'm hoping they bring it back. I'm assuming they will, because this one made a shit ton of money for them. But
sold extremely well. we're not. This isn't this category is not based on how well a game sold, but it is based on the reception of the game, and people in the community absolutely love this game. Yeah, it's not perfect. There are some weird glitches that happen. There are funny things that happen when you pitch the ball backwards 80 yards by accident. But like stuff like that is why games go viral anyway. But it made it so easy to delete Madden this year, Donovan. Like I was like, I didn't even think twice. Yeah. I played Madden once or twice with you, and that was it. I captured some gameplay, and that was on with my year. Whereas this is going to be on my PS5 forever. I will say that like I played through 1 year of Dynasty, and I was like, I don't know if I would. I didn't go back because like the thing that bothers me the most about the game, Donovan, is the lack of create a prospect. So like that's the only negative I have to say about this game is that there's a feature from 2013 that's not in this game, and it makes it worse in my opinion. So like the replay value that I still feel for that 360 game is not here, but they got so much else right. And to your point earlier about like the detail, you know, like any sports game, you pick your favorite team when you sign in for the first time. But then everything in the menu is customized for that team. So you have like UI elements that are like that look like a ticket to the game or the helmet of your team, or like there's a jersey hanging out. Like Donovan said it, like Madden feels very sterile when you open it.
Yeah.
Whereas like this college football game feels very customized to what you love, right? And college football fans are obsessive about their teams. It's like a cult almost. So I think they nailed that aspect of it.
The thing that stuck out to me about what Donovan was talking about, which sort of like the way that you're still playing it actively, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's so rare with sports games, I find, like especially like, you know, everyone knows I'm a big NHL guy, and there are just some years where I play it and then I'm like finished doing it for work, and then I'm like, that's it, I'm out. Like I'm not coming back to it. Or if I do, it's pure boredom, and it's very rare that I get a sports game that actually like draws me in over months and months and months, where I just keep wanting to go back to it. So that actually stuck out to me as like a really interesting compliment that I don't even know if you meant to make it as a compliment, but it really did.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, I usually fall off these football sims like a brick off of a cliff once I get my fix in. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. They've also had a good amount of post-launch support for it because obviously as college football evolves, they're constantly adding new uniforms to this thing. They have the new playoff bracket, which hasn't even gone into effect.
Yeah,
real life college football, which it will at the end of the season. But like they've been keeping this thing like up to date with new features and cosmetics and stuff. They didn't just kind of like throw it out and then move on to the next thing, which I
think that's a really good point though, Diamond. This is the first time that the college football playoff is there, and they executed it flawlessly. And I remember talking to you about it. I was like, these seasons are really long. It's like 17 games now, whereas in 2013 it was like 12 or 13 games. So you're talking about like 25% more gameplay per season. But they also nailed the presentation on all that stuff.
I didn't even consider that the last time we had a college football game, the playoff system hadn't been implemented yet.
Yeah,
that's
it was BCS. It was BCS still. Bowl Championship Series for the folks at home. But yeah, it was a computer was determining the two teams that would play at the national championship game. And then about 10 other teams were really pissed off. So now it's okay, a bunch of people decide 12 teams that get to go to a playoff, and then another 12 teams are really pissed off.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to actually see it happen. But it was cool to get to experience that before it even happened in real life. That was very well implemented and a cool feature for sure.
Yep. Yeah. It was a great game. Great video game.
It's a great game until you have to recruit.
I like the recruiting mechanic. We're not on the same page there, but I enjoy that a lot. That's a lot of my strategy.
It's cool when you create the prospect, but when it's John Jaboufer, who you don't really care about, and he's like a 70 overall, it's hard.
See, sometimes the stars align, and the computer will throw a guy at you with like the
95.
best. or that, or like the best like WWE name you've ever seen. It'll be like Bobby Falcon or something, and he'll be like a 99 speed quarterback or something, and it's just magic like that. I don't know. I have a lot of fun fighting over prospects with my friends in our online league. So
That's actually an
Well, that's
interesting
wonderful, yeah.
dynamic that I didn't think about. I
Mhm.
was kind of speaking from the single player perspective, but you're right. Like when you have 9 friends and you're all competing over the same prospects, that gets
Yeah.
pretty funny. And you
We-
start
yeah.
and there is like an emergent gameplay aspect of it. Like people talk about, oh, I was trying to recruit this person last night. Like it's funny how into it people get. Because it
Dude,
is like an RPG for being a head coach of a
It is,
college
and
team.
we have full business negotiations of it. We'll text each other and be like, "Leave the wide receiver alone, man. You've got 299 speed guys. My dude's going to the NFL next year. Like, I'm trying to get my receiver core together. We're arguing. We're like, why do you need 3 right tackles? Only one's on the field. We're because you can't trade in college football, but we're like, drawing lines in the sand. It's very funny. I enjoy that part of the game a lot, and that's all off the field before you even actually play the games.
Yeah, there's a
yeah.
lot of time in menus, man. Like there's a lot of time in menus, which why it makes why those menus are so well designed important because you're gonna
Yeah.
be in them a lot, and there's great music in the game. Yeah, it's extremely good. Anything else we want to say before people get voting, or are we good to go? I think we're good to go. Donovan, you want to start?
Sure. I'll vote for EA Sports College Football 25.
Nice.
Mouthful of a title.
Yeah, I do miss the old NCAA followed by year. It was cleaner, and so many people still call it that.
They always will.
TJ,
College football 25.
hell yeah. Ozzy,
College football.
nice. Sam, sorry, I'm off.
so
I'm
happy.
sorry.
For
It's
you
my
all.
spreadsheet, Bill. I'm sorry. Sorry,
I'm so
Bill.
happy for you all. Oh, okay.
So I don't know what to do here, Sam. My spreadsheet says one thing. My Discord video, I don't know, Brady Bunch screen says another thing. Like
All
I
right,
don't
go
know
for
what
it, Bill. You go for it.
Go
Bill.
for it, Bill. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to skip you, Bill.
All good. You know what? Like, it's probably got to be college football. It's so rare that we get like I guess it's not new in the sense that it was around a decade ago, but like a fresh, exciting, engaging, quality sports game. So we should probably
A return. This would be like if NBA Live showed up and it was good. Like the amount of hype around that would be pretty high, right?
We have to pet Andrew Wilson's head very gently and be like, "Good job. Please do again." So
That's why they're going to win this award. Sam, you were about to say how happy you were for us.
Yeah, I'm so happy for you all that you've got a good football game. So college football.
Hell yeah. And people who've been watching our Twitch channel forever know that like I've been streaming college football this whole time. So I mean the whole time. 10 years of just playing that same game. What's weird was last winter I got to present day in my dynasty, Donovan. So I went
2024.
Yeah, I was entering the 2024 season in my 2013 dynasty. So it's like, you know what? This is a perfect time for me to start here. But then, spoiler alert, I'm going to go back to the 360. Just because of a couple of reasons. Greg's not here. Dane's not here. Steve.
I guess I'll go with college football also.
I'm going college football as well. I think Greg would also say football. He doesn't know sports, though, so he might have picked, I don't know, golf for all we know.
Yeah. He would have told us a story about being forced to watch football as a child.
Yeah.
that is the most accurate thing anyone said today.
And Denny would have voted for college football. I'm pretty certain of that.
Denny would have absolutely voted for college football.
So it's unanimous. Oh wait, David. I'm sorry, David.
One.
I'm sorry. This is clearly.
You're right over there.
Yeah. Here we go.
Finally, college football has come back to EA Sports. It's in the game.
Hell yeah. We did it. Now it's unanimous. Okay, I'm gonna get better at counting votes, I swear. It's just when the spreadsheet doesn't add up to whatever how does Discord decide this? The Brady Bunch.
Alphabetical. It's alphabetical order.
Alphabetical.
Alphabetical? Okay.
So David, Donovan,
Really?
Erlovix, Greg,
Mhm.
Johnny Oldman, Ozzy, Rimpo, Sam, Steve. Is how it is displaying, yeah.
Today I
Yeah.
learned. Damn. That
Well,
makes
there
sense.
you go. There's a little extra nugget of knowledge for the folks at home there. But yeah, congratulations, EA and Andrew Wilson, by extension, CEO of the company. EA Sports is in the game occasionally. Occasionally they're actually in the game. And this year they were. They were in college football. They made a college football game that is our best sports game of the year 2024. Congratulations to EA Sports College Football 25.